So we've talked about how the Army has a lot of rules, and if you break those rules, you get punished. Well, not like that, at least not officially. For the bigger offenses, you might lose some privileges, like a few meals, a few paychecks. You might even get locked up for the big ones. But if it's just a smaller offense, like making a sergeant have a temper tantrum, then they'll give you an attitude correction via a healthy dose of physical activity. You do push-ups and stuff. For instance, forget to say sergeant when you're talking to a sergeant, push-ups. Remember to say sergeant, but you're talking to an officer, more push-ups. Say sergeant and then repeatedly make sarcastic remarks, apparently still push-ups. Okay, that last one might be on me, but sarcasm's how I cope, and clearly I have a lot to cope with. But the point of dropping a soldier is to break them down and make them comply. Sometimes this might even include mockery, like while you're down doing push-ups, a sergeant might be standing there chanting, 1, 2, 3, you wanna go home, you wanna see your mama, you want your milk and cookies. I think that's supposed to insult you, like make you toughen up and all that stuff, but joke's on them, milk and cookies sounded amazing. So I flip it around and start chanting back. That's a good idea. You go get me cookies, but don't talk about my mama. The sergeants didn't really like that too much, but there was one time I was just too busy to do push-ups. Let me give you a little backstory. So we were deployed to Iraq, and we had to work 12-hour shifts. We had to constantly monitor the communications, making sure everything's up and running, nothing's getting jammed or intercepted. And we didn't really get a lunch break. We had to eat on the job. So I got some chow on my little plate. I was hungry. But I was also sarcastic, and due to one of those two things, a sergeant tells me to drop and do push-ups. Well, you can't say no, but remember, I was hungry. So I decided to make the executive decision, I'm gonna multitask. So I position my plate of food under my face, and as I go down for a push-up, I grab a mouthful of food. And I would call this genius. I believe my sergeant agreed, although he had a slightly different way to put it. You're that special kind of stupid, aren't you? You might have heard some slight differences there, but either way, I was just trying to be all I could be.